Alrighty, everyone. This has certainly been an interesting week. I thank you all for watching DSP versus the internet and being a great audience. It is now time for part 6, the final part of the week. And let's continue on with the member submissions. Here we go. Wait a minute. I don't know if this is from the playlist. Yes, it is. Because you know what this is? I think they're playing the Cowboy Bebop theme. But you don't know it's the Cowboy Bebop theme because you're not watching Cowboy Bebop. Let's see what this sounds like. Yeah, see? It's the Cowboy Bebop theme. Remember? I don't know who they are, but they're playing the Cowboy Bebop theme. The song is called Tank. Okay. The Seatbelts. Great song. The intro to Cowboy Bebop is so catchy. Very jazzy and snazzy for an anime. Have an intro like this. This is the band that made this song, and the woman in red is the original composer of the song. Thank you for sharing. It's interesting. Amazing song. I remember the song. I have all the reflections of it. It's so good. Cowboy Bebop, interestingly enough, is the show that got a lot of people into anime because they started playing that on Adult Swim in the early 2000s. And at that time, a lot of anime exposure was more like Dragon Ball and shit like that. And when they started playing that on Adult Swim, a lot of people saw it for the first time. And then they started putting tons of anime on Adult Swim after that. If you don't know, Adult Swim was the late night version of Cartoon Network in the United States. So... Boom, ba-da, boom. So since this video is 17 years old, and technically that means it's 18 years old, this would have been one of the earliest YouTube videos to get popular. And honestly, if it was 18 years ago, that means that this was right around the time Cowboy Bebop was still very popular from being on Adult Swim. Yeah. It's interesting to hear the full version of the song because I've never heard the full version of the song. I've only heard the abridged version for the anime. Can you guys honestly see the difference between this and the shit music that we listen to today? How much talent it took to make this? Not only this woman who's an amazing composer to write all of these pieces, but each unique musician has to have a talent for the instrument they play and to play it all in tandem and to have that level of performance and then to put it all together on a stage. Do you see how different this is than like sitting in the fucking studio on a computer? Beep, 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 beep. Yo, yo, yo. Beep, 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 beep. And the crap that they put out today, all auto-tuned, all sounds like shit. That's what everyone buys today. This is talent. This is exuding talent. Like, when I think of these talented people, you know what a band that back in the day, a lot of people liked and you never really hear mentioned anymore except for once a year? Earth, Wind, and Fire. Go watch that band, Earth, Wind, and Fire, from like the 1970s. That band, every person in that band was incredibly talented. They could play. They could sing. They could dance. They had this amazing stage presence. That was talent from back in the day. Today, you don't have that anymore. It's all just people, manufactured people. These people who are talent sought out, you know, brought up in a fucking corporate environment, and they're morphed into a product that's digestible to an audience. This is talent right here. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's continue.
Very few things that are portrayed in the video game Castle Crashers happened at the time period.
The Crusades were not a handful of multicolored knights fighting a cat in a river. Thousands of Christians died.
There was no such thing as CPR.
Chainsaws.
Any depiction of a weapon using electrical current also wasn't even invented until Benjamin Franklin, that motherfucker.
Castle Crashers is such an insult to history and blasphemous to historians that I saw fit to have Microsoft remove it from the service.
We have a problem with the Xbox Live regarding the game Castle Crashers.
What about the game?
We have a problem with the game. We're here. We want to make sure that it's taken off the service immediately.
Going to check it out again. I think the server of that game is talking up.
This is not a matter of servers, sir. It's a matter of respect to the history of the Crusades. The Crusades were a great slaughter.
All right. It started off funny. I'm already bored. Really, I'm seriously already bored. Like, I get the premise. It's people trying to take a game seriously, but I'm already bored. In a minute in, I have no desire to watch the rest of the video. So.
Most recently, we decided...
What the fuck? We did it! Gabe Newell appeared 3 times on DSP versus the internet on 1 week. That is the record. Gabe Newell. 3 times. What were the chances? What were the chances? What happened? Did you guys consort with each other? Did you guys plan this out when you submitted your videos to get Gabe on here 3 times? I've never seen this man so much in one day before. Good Lord. Gabe Newell blue screen Microsoft trash talk, huh? All right.
To try to answer that question in the context of a product announcement. We said, why don't we partner with our customers? Let's use this as an opportunity to bring them in, where they have as much of a role in bringing this new product forward. You know, we'll start off by doing an update to a 3-year-old game and plant clues throughout this so that they can figure out that something's going on and decode satellite data and so on. And so I wanted to touch really briefly on that and answer some of these questions that are in the minds of our fans about what we're going to do. So I'm going to go and talk about that next. Okay, this isn't working.
Blue screen of death at like a conference.
That's what I get for working at Microsoft. So I was pretty close to the end of my presentation anyhow. And I just want to thank everybody here for the award. And especially I wanted to thank my wife, Lisa, for being here tonight and for being here for all those years. So good luck figuring it out, and thanks again.
So he got an award and he couldn't finish his speech because they had a blue screen of death. Wow. Interesting. That's very interesting. That's funny though. That's interesting. I'm curious how many more videos, because we're about the end of the show, and I wanted to see how many more videos we have in this playlist. Hold on. Let's go down here. Because I think I want to kind of jump around a little bit now for the last 15 minutes and pick videos that I'm interested in. Let's see here. We were almost done with the playlist anyway. Maybe I'll go back to like the beginning of the playlist or a video from the middle of the playlist. The problem is a lot of these videos are very long. So someone had asked me, okay, I think we'll end with this. Someone had actually asked me the question, why do you think that so many big YouTubers seem to be now quitting or stepping down or doing less content? There's a video on it right here, and that was put into the playlist. So hold on, I just want to make sure this doesn't desync if I click on here.
Today's a sad day.
Okay. Yeah, I want to watch. I think this video, we'll watch. This will be the end of the show. I'm very curious to hear this guy's take on why YouTubers are quitting, and then I'll give you mine. Or I'll comment as he does it. All right, let's see what this guy has to say. Why are so many big YouTubers now quitting? Let's find out.
On YouTube, because we're saying goodbye to one of the GOATs. You've definitely heard the news by now, but MatPat has announced his retirement from the Game Theorists. And here's him in his own words.
We knew that we couldn't do this forever. We knew that, honestly, we didn't want to do this forever.
And he talks about how the work-life balance has been less than ideal, and he's devoted the past 13 years of his life to game theory, and he wants to start doing new things. And he's going to still keep having game theory running with new hosts. And it's kind of cool because there will be 4 people replacing what he used to do by himself, which just shows how much of an institution he was. Now, quick aside, this is just a little conspiracy theory. This was his 666th YouTube upload. I feel like MatPat wouldn't be someone to not know that. I don't know, maybe, okay, but I do think it's real. And this isn't just him retiring. There's been a trend of YouTubers retiring over the past year, really. And even in the past couple of months, there's been some huge names. People like Stampy. In his Lovely World Minecraft series, it's came to a close.
And who knows what's going to happen next in our lives. So, for the final time, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.
And it's not just Stampy. We obviously saw Tom Scott last week saying he's ending main channel uploads.
This project has worked, and it's time to move on.
Even Germa. Germa has announced his retirement. I don't know if people know, but it's a soft retirement. He still streams sometimes, but here he is.
This being a streamer is going to turn into a hobby for me. While I work on other stuff, other things in my life, obviously like off-brand. You saw the Doug I'm doing a lot of that right now.
And we have to ask ourselves.
Interestingly enough, I know Stampy was a longtime Minecrafter. I know him. I've heard the name Germa, but I had never watched him. I don't know what he does besides gameplay, I guess. I know of MatPat only because I've heard of game theory, but I've literally never watched a game theory video or anything the guy's ever put out. I heard that he got way popular when he started making videos about Five Nights at Freddy's, and he's one of the major reasons why Five Nights at Freddy's got so popular. But I don't know any of these YouTubers really, honestly. So, okay.
Why are all these people retiring from YouTube? One of the dream jobs that many people want to have. And I think the answer is twofold. And I think the first part is they're not actually retiring. Like in the traditional sense, they're not retiring and going to play golf like a 75-year-old every weekend and not do anything creatively. They're all still outputting. They're just now outputting the thing that people know them for the most. Like Tom, for example.
This probably isn't goodbye, like not forever. The podcaster host, Lateral, is still going out weekly. My newsletter's still going out. The Plus channel will probably return at some point. There'll likely be new technical difficulties episodes.
Does a lot of work. He's still doing a lot of things.
Yeah.
Stampy, he has a gaming channel that he's still uploading on.
It's a gaming channel, but it's geared for kind of an older audience, I guess, than Stampy. Like, we still don't swear or anything on it. Like, don't get like that idea. Like, everything that I said earlier isn't thrown out.
Still no swearing. And also, even MatPat is still making stuff.
Like, for instance, I have a lo-fi mystery series that I think you're really going to dig. It's basically like if you took a lo-fi channel and applied an ARG narrative to it, it becomes lore-fi.
But I think the reality is that when you start becoming a YouTuber, you have the dream of wanting to become a YouTuber, you just throw shit at the wall. Whatever it is, whatever.
I literally never once in my life had a dream to become a YouTuber. I think that's the difference between me and like everybody else. When I started doing it, it was just, I'm going to fuck around and just toss videos on YouTube. I don't even care if anyone watches them. And then people did. And I was like, well, I'm not making any money doing it, but it's fun to have an audience. So I'll just keep fucking around. And then it was only when I was laid off in 2010 that I thought, oh, can I make money doing it and try to find a way to monetize it? But it's funny how he literally just said, you know, when your dream is to become a YouTuber and all of that, yeah, like literally all those guys probably, that's how they went into it. Not me. That was never my intention whatsoever. Yet so many people today just want to be a YouTuber, right? It's just such a different mindset to even hear him say that. There's people retiring from YouTube that when they started, their intention was to be a successful YouTuber. And here I am 15 years later, I never even thought of that for a second, right?
Whatever creatively you are good at, or you think is funny or fun or helpful to the world, you just keep doing it. And eventually, if it works out, something sticks. I don't know what it is for every YouTuber, but, you know, MatPat had game theory. I for a while, had playing games at a subpar level. And we kept doing those things. MatPat to a much greater degree, but you get the idea. When something sticks, you do it. You repeat it. And you do it on a regular cadence so that people know to come to expect it and will show up to watch it. You build a base of viewers, yada, yada, yada. You still got to innovate. You got to change throughout the times. You know, viewers will get old, stop watching YouTube. You need to appeal to new viewers. But that's the idea. You just keep running the same old simulation over and over. And I think at a certain point, YouTubers realize it's a bit draining. Because what is it all for, right? More views, Ludwig, more money, more fame. But what is that for? What's the point of getting more capital? What are you doing with the money? At a certain point, you're pretty set, right? I think MatPat has been pretty set for a while now. I feel like I've been set for a while now. I don't feel like I'm in the game of getting more money because I don't have a reason for it. I don't know what I would do with it.
See? And this is the difference, again, between them and me. I've never had that money. Never. I was never that popular. I never was rolling in dough, hand over fist to the point where, like, oh, I'm set. It always has been like, I'm the working man YouTuber, right? I'm the one who, like, this is my job. This is literally my job. Every day I come in, I clock in, I do a stream, I put out videos, and I make a living doing it, and I'm very happy to do that. But I've never gotten to that level of, oh, I'm so in the clear, right, that I don't ever have to worry about it ever again. I can't pay off my house. I can't pay off my hell, I can't even pay off my back taxes that I owe the government, right? I'm doing that slowly. These people made content. They followed the algorithm. Basically, they did everything that Turkey Tom says that I never did, which he's right in that regard. They made the thumbnails. They made the clickbait titles. They made the videos that appealed to the mass audience. They didn't cater to a small group of people who liked them. Instead, they tried to always make mass appealing content. And they hit that level. They hit the YouTube algorithm. They became virally popular. This guy got 1.4 million views. I never heard of Mogul Mail, but he has 1.4 million views in 11 days. This video literally paid this man thousands and thousands of dollars. All right? It takes me all month running streams to make thousands and thousands of dollars. You see? So they're at a different level. And it goes to the point where to them, this was a job. The job has done and established what they wanted. Stop doing the job and do other creative things. For me, this is the creative thing. Like this thing right here, being here, hanging out with you guys, reacting to clips, playing video games, having interactions and fun. This is it for me. This is what I want to do. There's no, oh, I hope that someday I can make enough money that I can retire for what I'm doing and I can go buy a restaurant, right, and run that, or I can go do this and that. This is it for me. And I love this. You understand that? Like, I'm not going to get tired of this. This is this level of fun and interaction. We found the level where this is what I want to do forever. Now, there's be variations. I feel like moving forward, I could continue to change and do different things. Like, for example, right now, I'm doing a React channel. Then I'll be doing a throwback channel, which I just launched. In the future, we can do other styles of content. Eventually, people want to hear me talk about news and politics and things like that. And I do feel like eventually we will get there, okay? But that's all stuff to go down the line and do later. You know what I'm saying? To me, this is it. Like, I've hit my level of what I want to do, a stride of work, and this is what I want to do until I stop working. You know what I'm saying? It sounds like these people, they started doing stuff. They did everything possible to get popular. Again, use the thumbnail, use the clickbait title, hit the algorithm, get popular, but then they got stuck in that rut of just doing the content that's popular, and they never realized that this isn't really what they wanted to do. But that's just what's popular and pays the bills, right? You know what this reminds me of? Angry Joe. He outright came out and said that he was tired of doing the giant high production value reviews, but that's what people watch. This reminds me of Nostalgia Critic, right? He wanted to retire Nostalgia Critic and never do it again, but that's all that people watched. So he had to go back to it, right? And that's crazy. Like, I think somehow, even for the level that I'm at, because I'm very small time now, I somehow lucked out, right? And I found the formula of something I can do and never get bored and never be boring, because games, there's always a million games to play. There's always content to react to. There's always something else coming up on the horizon that I can do, because I didn't just pigeonhole myself into being one thing, right? I'm not just the guy that plays Call of Duty or the guy that plays Street Fighter or the guy that makes a lore video, or you know what I'm saying? So yeah, and that's cool. By the way, and by no means am I saying I'm better than any of these people. I'm definitely not. But I think that shows the difference between me and them. They hit a level of popularity where they're like, okay, I just don't want to do this anymore. I've outright told you guys, if today I won the lotto and I became a multimillionaire and I never had to work another day in my life, I would still stream. Now, would I stream 6 days a week full time? No, absolutely not. I would reduce the amount that I stream. I would pick and choose games more carefully. I would spend a hell of a lot more time with my wife, all right? But I would still do this. This is actually my passion in life. Like, this is what I love doing. So there's nothing to move on to. There's nothing to creatively move on and do better or different. I love who I am and what I do. But I think that's why these people are retiring. They hit that level where they realized, oh, actually, everything I did to get popular is great and all, but this isn't really what I wanted to do. Now I want to move on and do other stuff. I don't need to move on. I'm actually happy. That's the difference. Okay? Let's see what else he has to say.
And then the fame part, that'll go away. And everybody knows it'll go away. And I think MatPat says it best himself right here.
When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and
I agree with him. I think YouTubers nowadays saw the previous generation of YouTubers do the other way of quitting.
And this is hilarious. The previous generation of YouTubers, to me, there is no previous generation. I am the original generation of YouTuber. You know, I am. I'm before these people. So
it is somewhat forced upon them because they kept doing the thing that made them successful, and then it started to fall off a bit. I'm sure you can think of some YouTubers who did this, a channel that maybe you...
Like me? Yeah, me, for sure. I was very popular, and I haven't been popular in like a decade. Right.
You used to watch, and then you looked up years later to see, oh, they're still doing the thing. It's just that people aren't watching them do the thing. And maybe in there is a couple of updates saying, hey, that they're burnt out or that YouTube isn't as fulfilling anymore. And that's not the nicest way.
And that's the difference. That didn't happen to me. The reason that I fell off is because of toxicity and negativity towards me on the internet and people not wanting to watch someone who generally everyone just makes fun of. It has nothing to do with me losing passion for what I do. It's actually the opposite of what he just described.
To end a career.
If anything, the more I do this, the more I like it. I like what I'm doing today far more than anything that I did previously. I love the content I do today and the style and what we do today much better than the stuff I made back in the day when I actually was popular.
Kind of a sad way. It's not the best page to turn to in Goosebumps. And then you end up on the obituary page of Sunny V2. That's not, nobody wants
There you go. The obituary page of Sunny V2. Right. The brutal collapse. By the way, Sunny V2, who makes some of the worst videos on YouTube because it's just regurgitated nonsense from other people with absolutely no confirmation that anything he says actually is true, he presents it as fact when it's not. So there you go.
Saying nobody wants this. And maybe it is a bit selfish to want to be remembered for your work when you are at your peak in creatively pushing the limits.
Actually. When I was at my peak, I was at my worst. I think my content back then was funny, but it's actually not as good as what I do today. The problem is no one gives my content a chance today because they just listen to 10 years of slander.
Opposed to creating into maybe your decline, but I also think it makes sense. And quitting is one of the coolest things you can do. I mean, like truly quitting, deciding to quit on your own terms, Frank Sinatra, My Way type beat, is awesome. After you've achieved success, because it's also hard. When is the right time to quit? I find it incredibly scary just thinking of the idea of it. And when I first started streaming, when I had no viewers, I said I would quit within 5 years. At that point, I didn't realize what would happen in 5 years, but I figured I'd want to move on to some other shit. And I still do want to move on to some other shit.
See, and there you go. All these people who got YouTube popular didn't intend on doing their content like this. You know what I mean? They didn't. I hate to say it. It sounds to me like these people who are quitting, and don't take this as a negative, they didn't have full passion for what they went all in on. For them, it was that was what was going to work, right? And so it worked, and so they extrapolated, got more popular, but now they're all rich and burnt out and don't want to do it anymore. But that's not me. That's literally the opposite of my story. I was popular, but then I lost my popularity because of really stupid reasons, but I still have so much passion for what I do that I don't ever want to give it up, right? I don't think I'll ever be burnt out or feel like, oh, I want to move on to something else. What else would I want to fucking do, you know? It just seems to me like that. If you see a trend, all of a sudden, everyone's doing it, it's probably because they're all in the same boat. So maybe, I hate to say it, maybe they have all the money, and they got all the views, and they got all the popularity, but where's the happiness, right? Because if they were truly happy, would they be quitting? No. Not a single person would be quitting what they're doing if they were truly happy. They got them everything else that they were supposed to get for being a good big YouTuber, except the happiness. Because the happiness to them now is walking away to do the other things they want to do, so now they can be happy, right? I got my happiness. My life right now is actually better than it was when I started as a YouTuber. My life today is the best it's ever been because of all the things that have come as a result of me toughing this out. You know what I'm saying? I honestly, this is an honest belief. I feel like the best is yet to come in my life. Those younger years that I was a popular YouTuber, I look back and I'm like, I don't miss them at all. Today is what I love, not then. But these guys and gals who are retiring, they think the best is yet to come now that they can step away from this stressful grind that made them popular. So then, was the stressful grind really fulfilling and happiness for you? Or was it just what you did to ride the algorithm, to pump out that manufactured content to get views and money? Now, some would say that's fine. Work your ass off, get the fuck you money, quit, and then do what you want to do. Or I could just do what I wanted to do from day one and just never get the fuck you money, right? Because that's what I've done. You know, that's the difference between me and these people retiring, for sure.
I really want to open a bakery. I mean, that's what I want to do. That's what I want.
He wants to open a bakery. This is his passion, to open a bakery. But he's a YouTuber.
I think it'd be really fun. I think it'd be fulfilling. I think it'd help my local community. And that, to me, is much more fulfilling than the endless pursuit of more money and more fame. For what? I'd rather have people around me have good bread. I think that's cooler. I think it's more important.
So literally, he's just admitted that everything he does on YouTube is meaningless. He literally just said that. He just said it's more important for me to just make you bread that you'll enjoy than all this shit on YouTube. All my content that I put out, I hope has brought you meaning in some way. And I hope that when you hang out with me every day in my content, that you get that feeling of meaning out of it. And that, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, this is not just something that I pumped out so you would watch it and make money. This is very different to me. I don't have something, I need to quit this and go open an Italian restaurant because that has more meaning. That's ridiculous, you know? That's just crazy to me, you know? I don't know.
But anyway, here's Matt Pat talking about quitting and the fear of it.
Because change is scary. Change is hard. But sometimes the right decision isn't the easy decision. The easy decision would just be to carry on doing this and do FNAF Part 332. But that wouldn't be the right decision. I think the best way to explain it is...
He has a big video game analogy here. It's definitely worth watching because Matt Pat is a well-spoken man. But I think the reality is that he's right. You just do keep doing the thing that works. And there's not really an exact point where you are supposed to quit, right? You know, there's just a line that you arbitrarily draw in the sand. It happens even with famous movie directors. Quentin Tarantino, 10 movies. Why 10? Could be 11, could be 13, but he's marked himself at 10. And that's just his line. And so this is Matt Pat's line, and eventually we will hit everybody's line. My line is going to come at some point. I'm still here for a couple of years because, you know, hey, I still like what I do, and it's going well, and I want Off-Brand to succeed. So, hey, I'm not announcing anything, but I will. I will one day. And it's not going to be in the too far distant future, and you might not even be watching me by then. This might be the last time we ever see each other. So I hope you have a good life, and I'm going to leave you with a quote from a fellow Ludwig Jacobowski, who had a quote that's usually misattributed to Dr. Seuss that says very simply, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because you have been." It was translated from German. It doesn't sound as nice. But you get the idea.
No.
Thank you all for watching.
Doesn't make sense.
And shout out to...
Well, the only thing I can say to you guys is, unlike all these people, right? Me, this is my passion. I have no aspirations to do other things. I would like to keep doing this as long as I can. In fact, that would be my long end goal. Now, I'm not saying that it's always going to be exactly the same. I'm probably not going to be someone who, as I get older, is going to be able to sit here and play video games most of the time. Because what happens when you get older is your hand-eye coordination goes out, you get carpal tunnel, your reactions, you know, all kinds of stuff. I'm not going to be able to just do that. You know what I'm saying? But what I can tell you is, because I do truly love what I do, that I would like to keep doing this in some capacity as my job for as long as I possibly humanly can do it. Even if it means that it's not as much as I do it now, or if it's different content, right? And that's the thing. Like, I feel like we have so much untapped content that I haven't done because I've stuck with games as my major focus for so long, that eventually, if I were to get into those things that could bring big popularity, that they could work, or at least in my own small-time version. No, if I make a politics channel, am I expecting it to get 1 million subs and roll in dough? No. But at least there'd be people who would be interested in what I have to say and would tune in and would want to hang out with me no matter what I do, and I truly appreciate that. It's not about, for me, hitting that algorithm and making the giant money doing it, because that was never what I started making videos for to begin with. I didn't go into it with the mentality of these guys who said, so I just hope that one day I'd be a big YouTuber. I literally never thought that one day that I've been a YouTuber. I want to be a big YouTuber. Never. Never even been a concern or a thought in my brain. But that's why they're a different group and a different generation than me. When I started, it was because I had passion for games, and I wanted to share that with everyone. And I hope that in the 15 plus years that I've been doing this, that's come through, and I hope that it continues to come through on a daily basis when I make content with you guys. That this is for fun. This is for passion. This is not I really gotta think about things to get popular and pay bills today and blow up. It's never been like that for me at all. And it is a different mentality, because what it is, it's the get that bag mentality versus the, oh, this is actually something I really have an appreciation for. Because again, you wouldn't walk away from it. Truly, if you really loved what you were doing, you wouldn't say, oh, the thing that actually I wanted to do was open a bakery. That's, you know, that means you're tired. It means you got burnt out and you don't want to do your content anymore, and that wasn't really what you had the passion for to begin with, you know? But that's okay. It's okay, because I'm not saying anyone's content has been bad. I'm just saying that's a completely different life perspective than anything that I've ever had being a YouTuber, you know? I can't, that doesn't even, nothing that they're saying there even resonates, you know, at all. And maybe, just maybe, some of the people that they look at when they go to the Sunny V2 site and they say, look at all these people, right? Maybe you got to realize that those people felt the same, like me, but they also had to basically be treated like dirt by a YouTube community who just wants to meme on everyone and crap on everyone. And, oh, we didn't decide to follow what you said is what you should need to do to be popular on YouTube. We didn't do the thumbnail. We didn't do the clickbait. We didn't do this or that. We didn't take every sponsorship. We didn't do everything perfectly right. But now we're supposed to be like the lower class, forgotten whipping boy class of YouTubers, while guys sat at the top and they can just retire respectfully, right? Maybe you should have a sense of, you know, awareness that not everyone is lucky like you. And now I'm talking directly to him and others as well, that maybe not everyone is as lucky as you've been in life, that not everyone got treated well, not everyone decided to be the same as you, and you should stop talking down to people, because it's incredibly fucking disrespectful when you just do stuff like that, and it makes more people pile on and believe the bullshit. And that's really fucked up that he even said that, because that means he has zero self-awareness of anything, how lucky he's been and all this shit, right? The people that have been down in the fucking trenches of YouTube and had stuff go wrong for them, but now they did it wrong, and here's why they're on Sunny V2's page. No, they're on Sunny V2's page because Sunny V2 has no talent, and he just rides the coattails of their hater groups and regurgitates the toxic shit about them to 6 million views and thousands of dollars of profit. And then you show it on your stream so people think that that's good content. That's why that happens, right? Zero self-awareness of what you say, or that the things that you say and do have repercussions around other people. You know, people will now suffer because of the things you say. Because that's the other thing, too. If you notice over the years, I've never made targets of other people and focused on bringing others down and saying toxic shit like that. You know? I don't want to. I want people to come to me for my content and the positivity of my content, and I ignore the other stuff. But all this time, I've been the target like that list, that ire of the internet. That's one of the major reasons why I am where I am today. But you know what? I don't care, because I still have passion for what I do, and I tough through all that very unfair treatment to make content for you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy it and appreciate it. All right, that is it for DSP versus the internet this week. Thank you to everyone who chilled with me here today and enjoyed the show. And if you watched it on demand, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next week. Now, by next week, I may have some different things worked out with memberships and things. I will let you guys know if you're a member of the channel right now and you're wondering what are the changes going to be. Keep your ears and eyes open. I'm likely going to have to make a community post and or even a special video about it here on the channel, because yes, this YouTube abuse with these gifted memberships that are ridiculous and don't count basically is going to screw this channel's methodology up of how to submit videos. So I will have something for you later in the week. All right, guys, thank you so very much. I'll see you next time.